Ever wondered why the process of receiving feedback is crucial to personal and professional growth? Well, feedback, in essence, is a mirror that reflects our strengths and weaknesses, offering us an opportunity to see ourselves from a different perspective. It's a powerful tool that aids in our ongoing journey of learning and development, helping us to identify areas for improvement and growth. Imagine you're working on a project or learning a new skill. Without feedback, you're like a ship sailing in the dark without a compass. You might feel like you're making progress, but in reality, you could be veering off course. Feedback acts as that guiding compass, providing direction and insight that can help you steer your efforts in the right direction. But remember, feedback isn't about pointing fingers or assigning blame. It's about learning, improving, and growing. It's about transforming weaknesses into strengths and turning challenges into opportunities. So the next time you receive feedback, don't shy away. Embrace it, learn from it, grow with it. Remember, feedback is not a critique of your persona, but a tool to enhance your capabilities. Now, how can one effectively receive feedback? Let's break it down into manageable steps. First and foremost, one must be open to feedback. This means shedding any defensive walls and inviting constructive criticism. It's about understanding that feedback is not an attack, but a tool for growth. Embrace it, welcome it, treasure it. The second step is to listen attentively. This might seem obvious, but it's often overlooked. Ensure you give the feedback provider your undivided attention. Don't interrupt, don't argue, just listen. Absorb the words and the sentiment behind them. Remember, the aim here is to understand, not to retort. Next, ask clarifying questions. This is your opportunity to delve deeper, to truly comprehend the feedback you're receiving. Ask for specific examples if the feedback is vague. Request for explanations if something is unclear. Your goal? To gain as much insight as possible. Moving on, it's time for reflection. Take a step back and mull over the feedback. Look at it from different angles, dissect it, analyze it. The aim here is to identify areas of improvement and to understand how the feedback can help you grow. The final step is to develop an action plan. This is where you take the feedback and transform it into a roadmap for success. Identify the changes you need to make, set goals, make a timeline. Remember, the feedback is only as good as the changes it inspires. Receiving feedback is an art. With practice, one can master it and use it to drive personal and professional growth. What does one gain from hearing feedback? Quite a lot, actually. Firstly, feedback provides a different perspective. It's like a mirror reflecting not what we see, but how others see us. It helps us recognize our blind spots, those areas of our performance or behavior that we may not be aware of. Secondly, feedback helps us understand others' expectations. Whether it's from a boss, a teacher, or a friend, their feedback gives us an insight into what they value, what they prioritize, and what they're looking for. Thirdly, hearing feedback is a powerful tool to improve our communication skills. It trains us to listen actively, to process information objectively, and to respond constructively. Lastly, feedback fosters personal and professional growth. It fuels our motivation to improve, to learn, and to excel. It challenges us to push our boundaries and to reach new heights. Indeed, the advantages of hearing feedback far outweigh the initial discomfort one might feel. Criticism can sting, can't it? But what if we could transform it into useful feedback? Picture this. You're faced with a critique that seems harsh. Instead of recoiling, you take a step back to understand the intent behind it. Is it to belittle you or to help you grow? If it's the latter, then you've got feedback in disguise. Now reflect on its validity. Is there a grain of truth in the critique? If so, it's an opportunity to learn and improve. Don't be afraid to ask for clarification if something isn't clear. Understanding the full context of the criticism will help you make the most of it. The real magic happens when you start viewing criticism as a tool for improvement. This shift in perspective can turn even the sharpest critique into a stepping stone towards success. It helps you identify areas for growth and fuels your journey towards becoming the best version of yourself. Remember, criticism is just feedback in disguise. Use it to your advantage. So, what have we learned about receiving feedback today? We've discovered its importance as a tool for growth and self-improvement. We've examined the steps to receive feedback effectively, which involve being open, reflective, and responsive. We've highlighted the advantages of hearing feedback, such as gaining new perspectives and improving our skills. And we've explored how to transform criticism into useful feedback by understanding the intent and making necessary changes. Embrace feedback, for it is the catalyst of growth. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing,